Hello race fans and welcome to the Apex Racing League Touring Car Championship live here from beautiful wine country California, Sonoma Raceway, a circuit that's had more names than hot dinners, as we would say here in Scotland, and now under the name of Sonoma, a beautiful state-of-the-art facility home to all of the top motorsports in the United States. But tonight we are going touring car racing, and Sam Fitzpatrick, we've had a pretty frantic season so far here in the Apex Racing League Touring Car Championship. What should we expect today?
I think hopefully we'll be expecting some good racing. I think so far the quality of driving this season has been extremely high. We've got some fantastic drivers, many real-life drivers part of this series. And around this slightly narrow circuit than Road America that we visited last time out, hopefully the drivers will be keeping it clean out there, and we should see 3 good 20-minute races.
Let's hope so. At the moment, the drivers are out in their open qualifying session, which is always a little bit tricky, and we always see a little bit of mind games out there as well with trying to get a toe and what have you. It's a common theme in bunch racing, and we did see a little bit of that last time out at Road America, Sam, where the draft is just so important.
Yeah, it was crucial last time out at Road America. We had some brilliant finishes. I think we had in race 2 a run to the line. Maybe won't quite see the same amount of drafting around this place. Sonoma, for those of you who aren't too familiar, because this place has hosted NASCAR events for many years. I think also IndyCar has, at least in the past, visited this track, and of course also drag racing is a big thing here. That's now really used for a lot of categories as Savidovic goes to the top of the standings. So yeah, not as much of a draft as Road America, so a little bit more technical, lots of elevation change, and yeah, you may not need that draft in order to set a really good time in qualifying, but it certainly will help, as we just see Kieran Harrison try to get in the toe of Wojciech Savidovic a little bit ahead of him, as currently just 2 100ths of a second separating the top 2 drivers. And Savidovic trying to improve once again this lap. So far, not too many fantastic first few sectors for Savidovic, but yeah, still the potential to improve should he be able to really line up the final couple of corners around this Sonoma circuit. And it could be possible for him. Also Cedric out there, Nagy, Harris up there in 5th place, Guinness, Tassi, who is a new driver to the series, and yeah, Zaitsev down there in 10th place, Bokler as well, another new driver up there in 11th. A stunning field here. So let's see if Savidovic and Harrison can improve this lap. This looks like a good lap for Harrison, a couple of personal best sectors. This could be good enough for pole position potentially. And has he got it? No, just short there. In fact, I think Harrison was backing out of that lap slightly. So yeah, we'll try to improve again.
Yeah, it's interesting. You look at the track map there for a while. Savidovic was had virtually the entire field towing behind him. You can see on the track map on our SDK Gaming graphics on the top right-hand side of your screen, the whole circuit virtually covered with Audi RS3 LMS TCRs, whatever you want to call them. It's a heck of an acronym for that one. Another Audi saloon car did very, very well here back in 1989 when Audi finished P1 and 2 in the IMSA Championship with the Audi 90 Quattro, a car which you can, of course, drive here on iRacing, with Hans Joachim Stuck in first and the great Hurley Haywood in second.
That's a proper cool car, and when it was released on iRacing, I know that there was a lot of hype for it. There was also, it was the Nissan, wasn't it? The Nissan prototype. I don't recall its name, but was also released with it.
GTP ZXT.
There you go. I haven't driven it. Have you driven it much, Peter?
It's absolutely mega. You feel like Derek Bell driving it. I mean, you're not Derek Bell, but you feel like it. It's honestly, it's a proper. It's made to the GTP rules that were very similar to the Group C regulations. So it's big, nasty, massive turbocharging, massive horsepower, lightweight. If you so much as even look at a wall, it crumples into a heap. It's a proper racing car. I could thoroughly recommend giving it a go.
Yeah, these touring cars, these RS3 Aldis are a little bit easier. However, different challenges, of course. Front wheel drive these cars, and so particularly around some of these long corners that you have at Sonoma, you really got to get on the power early, and you see the precision that these drivers have. And of course, getting on the power, understeering the car so much, you've got to get just right, don't want to dip the wheel onto the gravel, and these drivers are absolute masters of that. So there's still a lot of challenges out here for the drivers. New driver, Attila Tassi, out there on track. I believe, is Tassi a real-life driver? I know that one of our other new drivers is a real-life driver. Nagy is, and there's a couple of others. Of course, we've got Bobby Thompson, and one of our other new drivers who isn't currently on track, I believe, at the moment, is also a real-life driver. I think Tassi might be. I will quickly do a Google on that one. But anyway, he's doing very good. And this is probably the closest qualifying we've seen all season, which I wasn't really expecting, to be honest, Peter. I thought at Road America or at Silverstone International would be a bit closer. Silverstone International, particularly, quite a short circuit, not many corners. But I know, it just seems really evenly matched. There's not much to split these guys.
No, absolutely not. No, it's Attila Tassi, a 21-year-old from Budapest, and races in a TCR car in the real world. In fact, drove. Well, I tell you what, our resident cinematographer Andy Taylor will be very happy because he drives a Honda Civic Type R TCR.
Yes, so Tassi, very strong driver. So yeah,
he's being beaten by his countryman at the moment, though. Nagy's just 3 points ahead, 3 places ahead. He'll not like that.
Yeah, you certainly won't. They are teammates as well, so that is one of the most impressive teams out there. Remember, 3 drivers can be allocated to a team. 2 or 3 drivers can be allocated to a team, and they're just a team of 2. And of course, Tassi joining a little bit late in the season, drop weeks as well for the team championship, so that'll be tricky for them to make up the points, but maybe possible for them to end up at the top. Seemingly, maybe the track's just getting a bit too warm out there. It is quite a short circuit. This, of course, the drivers pounding around will be heating up the surface of the track, and it's getting later in the day. I thought that was going to be the case last time out at Road America. It was anything but. We saw about 5 drivers all assume pole in the last minute back at Road America, but it seems around here it's a bit more standard. The checker flag is out, and qualifying is complete.
Yeah, we have baking track temperatures gone up to 39 degrees centigrade on the track, so that's pretty steamy. Wojciech Swiridowicz then, your pole sitter for race 1, with Kieran Harrison, the defending champion, starting alongside him on the front row. Jack Sedgwick and Daniel Nagy start on row 2, followed by Damien Harrison, Corentin Guinez. Row 4 is series newcomer Attila Tassi and Jason Cooper. George Simmons starts 9th with Velisi Zetsev alongside the Briton on row 5. Row 6 is Roman Bokler and David Baker. Row 7 sees Norbert Leitner and Preben Wally, followed by Craig Williams, Adam Hadfield, Fraser Smith and Igor Shirokov. Row 10 sees Huberterman and Ollie Marcus Jorgen, followed by Ben Gregory, Marius Karlstad, Oystein Herford and Marcel Tai, rounding out the top 24. Oliver Ackerman and Marcel Fritz start on row 13, followed by Tim Perry, Nathan Davies, Jake Robertson, Mark Johnson, Mark Woodhouse, Sergei Glaskov, Jaroslav Kabula, Adam Bath, Toby Ward and Robert Round, rounding out the top 36. And finally, we have Rob Sanford, Baron Glover, Martin Shirley, Stu Abbott, Arjen Bakker, Kevin Marshalsey, Luke Kidsley, John Billingsley, Terry Flatten, Carl Janssen, Jens Ledwig and Eric Boulton. And our championship leader, Carl Janssen for Core Sim Racing, starting from the pit lane, Sam, because he's got a penalty, I understand.
Yeah, a couple of small penalties for Janssen, and that's accumulated up to a pit lane start. Not the end of the world. Will be just needs to get himself up into that top 30 places or so he can get within the reverse grid.
I should expect that we might be able to see him do that. And actually here at Sonoma, the opening S is up the hill, the left and then right. Very, very tricky and often a hot spot for contact. So watch the drivers. Going to have to take it very carefully through these first couple of turns just to get through safe. But we see Wojciech Swiridowicz sitting on pole position in the number 180 Apex Racing Team car. And the lights are prepared. We're almost ready to go. Here in wine country at Sonoma, we have 3 lights, we have 4, we have 5. Out they go, and Wojciech Swiridowicz leads us away for the first of 3 20-minute races here this evening in the Apex Racing League Touring Car Championship So Wiedewich off cleanly. Harrison needs to be careful to protect his position. Jack Sedgwick up the inside there and takes second spot for now. Harrison hangs it around the inside as they head down the hill. Looks like Harrison going to try and nab it back again. Very, very tight. Sedgwick sees it coming and claims second spot. Oh, a little bit of contact there. What a start there from Daniel Nagy as well in fourth.
Yeah, nice start there from Nagy, and he is right on the tail of these front drugs as they bump over that very awkward curb. No 1x there. Oh, a little bit of contact way down the order. Also, very deep dive from George Simmons. And that was a nice move. Wide entry into that hairpin, and he's really taking advantage of that. So Simmons back into 9th place. I think he lost a place off the start initially. We've got a lot of contacts further down the drivers, burying the throttle to get it back in the front row. But we've got 5 wide and a bunch of drivers into the wall. Glover, Sanford, Etzerman. That must be about 6 cars there who are going to have damage and probably won't be able to finish this race now.
Yes, there is bits of bodywork lying all over the place here. That's well, as I say, that's touring car racing. This is a layout that's well, more known for stock car racing, so that's kind of apt to. But what a start from Wojciech Swaridovic. 124.8 from a standing start. That's mighty, mighty impressive. And the battling between Cedric and Harrison just gave Wojciech that perfect opportunity to just try and clear a little bit. Of course, the draft here, Sam, because it's so tight and technical, the draft's not really important as such. So if Wojciech can put a couple of strong laps together here, he can make a breakaway, which is just bliss in this championship because it's so rare.
Yeah, it really is. If he can get those 75 points, then that would be quite remarkable for him. The other drivers trying to stay close, and those wins, they do count for quite a lot. Maybe not quite as much as it used to in the showdown when you got bonus points for race wins when it came down to the showdown meetings, but I think it's 7 extra points for the win compared to second place. That's up from 5 points last season, and last season he got 100 points for the race win, so it was much proportionally. It's grown quite a bit. So this will be a prudent race win for Savidovic if he can hang on to it. Few drivers just running off the circuit. That'll be the red next to their name on the position box. That just indicates that the track extended a little bit, maybe picked up a 1x, gone onto the gravel. We're seeing plenty of that round at Sonoma because we've got a little bit of runoff. But the runoff is kind of dust, really, but you can still carry some good speed around there. Oh, we got a big crunch there.
Oh, that's Janssen. Janssen's in there. He's got a lot of damage. He's having to shove Jake Robertson out the way, and they've got stuck together like Velcro. Oh, well, that's the danger of starting from pit lane, isn't it, Sam? A good reason to try and avoid that if you can.
He won't be able to get to the end of the race, surely, with that, because these cars are very brittle in the front and the rear. This is the worrisome of the tyre barrier. Oh, he just, bounces back on. Team Madcar Robertson involved in that as well. Yeah, and Mark Woodhouse as well, one of the top amateur drivers, I think was one of the first drivers involved. He may have got through it all right. And then the other guys just struggling to get back underway. So we've probably lost about 10 drivers from this race. Janssen trying to continue, but surely he's got a meatball.
Well, yeah, you would think so. You would think that meatball flag shown by the automatic system here on iRacing, which determines, oh, he's got very, very loose there as well. That tells the drivers to come in and pit for repair if they can, otherwise they have to tow. So I wonder, and of course, no fast repair here, Sam, either.
Yeah, no fast repair, and you got to finish on the lead lap or 1 lap down in order to score points. So it's absolutely essential that you don't come into the pits for repairs, as we see a move for Luke Kidsley. Those tyre bars absolutely terrifying. They're as hard as concrete. They will never move in the iRacing world, and so if you hit them, then it can be absolutely disastrous for you. And with the dash bars, where you can sometimes kind of get clipped into them as well. In fact, moving down the order now is Jürgen. Oh, he's into the wall again. That car is losing body piece after body piece.
Big shoulder check there. That was Ledwig going through, and oof, yes, I don't think Jürgen would have appreciated that whatsoever. But looking at our track map, of course, as you mentioned, it's a great point, Sam, about going a lap down or even 2 laps down for scoring points. It's such a short lap here at this layout at Sonoma, and you can see on our track map just the pile of red and blue M&Ms all over the all over the track. And yeah, you can easily go a lap down. And in the pit lane, we've got an absolute boneyard of smashed up Audis.
Yeah, we see. You can just see them on the left side of the screen. Yeah, so quite a few already. Tight battle right now for second place with Cedric and Harrison. Wonder if Harrison, who has certainly established himself despite being only in his second season of the Apex Racing League Touring Car Championship, Harrison has established himself as one of the smartest drivers, the defending champion, and he's seemingly quite happy to stay behind. Cedric was quarter of a second faster on that last lap. He's got Daniel Nagy right behind him, and Daniel is quite an aggressive driver, as we've seen in the past, Peter. So if there's an opportunity for Nagy, he isn't really in the championship battle at the moment, he's probably going to take it. So for Harrison, I imagine he'd rather have Cedric behind him than Nagy, so maybe that will encourage him to overtake.
Possibly, yeah. You've got to think that Daniel Nagy is just there to try and, well, just do the best he possibly can and try and get a result. Of course, if he races professionally in the World Touring Car Cup, that is such a tightly contested championship that you really need to be very, very good in close combat there. And if you see us make the tiniest mistake, you're nowhere. So very much the nature of top-level touring car racing. But it's brilliant to see so many full-time, so many real-world racing drivers taking part in the championship. Sam, of course, we had Ash Sutton for the last couple of seasons. And of course, we've got Daniel Nagy, we've got Tassi, and also Bobby Thompson, who's not here tonight, but he's been a regular of the championship so far this season. I wonder, will we be getting Ash back, do you think?
I'm not sure. It'll be up to Ash. Maybe when Not Kill arrives, I can't help but feel he won't be able to resist Not Kill.
He's pretty handy around there, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, he won that last season.
Twice. Yeah.
Twice, there you go. So yeah, I imagine that will tempt him back, although Knockout isn't on the calendar this season. Hopefully will be on the calendar for next season. We've also got Roman Boat Club, who's a very good driver, who's new to the series. I don't believe Roman, oh there he is. He's on screen. Yeah, Roman's a very good driver. He races in the World Touring Car Championship, I believe, and it's quite a young driver. I think he's only 21. In fact, yeah, and so yeah, watch out for him as well. So I think we've got, is it 5 real-life drivers signed up for the championship? It's great.
It's fantastic, yeah, absolutely fantastic. I think it proves just that, you know, as we saw last year, a lot of drivers trying sim racing for the first time and realising just how, I think it surprised a lot of real-world drivers at just how accurate and how close the simulation is, given that it's technology you can have in your own home at a reasonable expense. So there's a lot of new converts to sim racing over the last 12 months, and long may it continue, because I tell you what, Sam, I think, like many race fans, really get the kind of winter blues waiting for the season to come round, but in sim racing you can carry on all year round if you wish.
Yeah, the winter is the top time for sim racing. This is, I think, when most iRacers are on. Maybe just got a subscription for Christmas, and of course haven't got too much to do out and about. And so yeah, there are lots of drivers online and lots of events going on. So yeah, awesome to fill that hole in the calendar. Tassie just at threat now of dropping back. Damien Harris is behind him. Harris, who took part in the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup Championship last night, had a good night actually. I bet he was running in the top 10, similar position to where he is now. Very accomplished driver is Harris, I think about 6,000 iRacing. The last time I checked, and still relatively new on the service, so he is lightning quick. George Simmons, by the way, oh, that's a move right there from Harris, and that was a bit aggressive there, and apologies, that was Tassie going for the move, and yeah, manages to get his way past. So yeah, that was one of the first dives we've seen into the hairpin snow.
Yeah, that was a little bump and run, as we would say in golfing terms. That just a little bit of a nudging move there. Nothing too. That's you would only get away with that in touring car racing, put it that way. That's kind of what it's like. But Roman Bokler, yes, the 18-year-old from Villette in France, raced in the Renault Clio Cup in France last year. So yeah, another real world racing driver. But at the moment, he's right on the back of George Simmons, who came to join us in the commentary box after the race last week. He was quite happy with his run last week.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Hopefully George will challenge for the championship. He's always one of the favourites. Like I said, 7,000 iRacing, which might be the highest of anyone out here. But obviously, with those real life drivers, they're preoccupied with other events during the year. And yeah, other drivers drive many different cars and such, which might affect their iRacing. So it's not totally reflective, but it's still testament to how successful George has been on iRacing over the years. They can see 7.7. Cedric, World Championship driver, only 7.2. Guinness, 7.1. So it's slightly contested. Baker up there with 7k. That is impressive from Dave Baker, who I don't think has ever retired from a race in his iRacing career. So that's that Baker and his good pace, obviously. But yeah, despite that iRacing, he can't get past Jason Cooper at the moment. Can Simmons? Pace wouldn't be too bad for him. The reverse grid for race 2, by the way, is going to be 35 cars, the biggest reverse we've seen so far this season. And so as long as you're in that top 35, then you've got a good chance. And at the moment it is Robert Rund who is in 35th. However, I imagine that's going to be Oliver Ackerman very soon. Can anyone else catch up? Apologies, that's Rund in 35th place. I wonder if Shirley can catch up to Rund and get that reverse grid pole.
Well, Shirley's just put in his personal best lap, a 120.5, quite significantly quicker than some of the drivers around him. So let's see, we'll keep an eye on that as we're just gone half distance now. Going back to George Simmons, he actually he actually was quite critical of my Apex Racing League race reports in the early days, Sam. And I actually had to go through to my bedroom and have a good cry because I was quite upset. But I've taken the constructive criticism on board, and you'll find that ever since that particular day, I think it was a Tuesday, I've tried to wipe it from my brain. Once I'd wiped away the tears, I do. You will find that there are less commas in the ARL and ART press releases as well, and hopefully a little bit easier for George to read. I hope they're easier for him to read now.
Well, of course, before you, George was writing the race reports for this series, and they were very good. He was almost... I'm surprised he didn't know that, actually, but he was almost like the starter of the race reports. Since then, of course, you've taken it on leaps and bounds, far superior to what George ever reached. But no, yeah, he did the reports for about a season of this. And so, of anyone to criticise you, I think he's the most qualified, at least.
Oh, absolutely. He was absolutely right. When I looked at it, I go, goodness me, he's right. I mean, I was absolutely devastated. I was just a mess for days, Sam, honestly. It was just horrific. But yes, it's okay. It's almost a bit like if you're, if your ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend, you're never going to think he's a nice guy, are you? Really? Let's be honest.
I mean, I've got used to the constant criticism of my commentary, so the tears don't hurt anymore. The tears don't fall anymore whenever I get criticism. So yeah, got to meet it.
I was going to say something there, and I'm glad I didn't. So tell them to sod off.
Baker getting a little bit detached, which I'm surprised about. Oh, that is so close to the wall, isn't it, for Marcel Tai, Team Husenveld. All pro drivers, Gregory the top of the amateur drivers. Gregory, by the way, leading the amateur championship going into this round of the championship. So he's been doing very well. Woodhouse did manage to get there. I thought Woodhouse got wiped out on the first lap, but there he is. There you can see the damage on that car. He got involved in that big skirmish at the hairpin. Mark Woodhouse, that is no Andrew Woodhouse out here today, as Bokler has got past Simmons. So Simmons, who was really knocking on the door of Cooper for a while, Bokler's actually got past. There he goes. Bokler driving for HM Engineering, one of the most established teams in this. So many of their drivers up in the top 11. I think 4 of them up in the top 11 at the moment. Trying to come back now as Simmons. Bokler opens up the line. But he's making quite an impression on his debut, isn't he? Passing one of the most experienced drivers on the grid.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And he's in with a top touring car team. HM Engineering, really strong. Of course, drivers like Norbert Leitner and Corentin Guinez, etc. Kieran Harrison, of course, defending champion, no less. You know, he's in with the best of them. But shout out to Carl Janssen. He has got a car that is well past its sell-by date, ready for the scrap heap, and he is dragging it along in 27th place. Now, of course, that will get him the reverse grid, and that'll actually get him quite a tasty grid for race 2, and he'll be able to hopefully be able to make amends for race 1. But that car is an absolute state.
It's barely slowing him down. He's only half second a lap slower than the race leaders.
Well, it's going to be lighter, I suppose.
Yeah, great cooling. We got a driver spun. That's a lap down. Yep, there you go. Arjun Backer there. Still points though in 39th place. Keep it up, Arjun. Although is he? No, he's eligible still. So yeah, it's some great times, like you said, from Janssen. I'm really surprised he got away with that. Must have just been a square contact. Always the best way to hit another driver or hit a wall is to kind of hit it on the nose rather than the corner, and I guess that's what he did. So it's just aero damage and no steering damage to that car. Still, Robert Rund going to be the reverse grid pole sitter. I mean, if we had a chaotic start in race 1, Peter, I fear what we're going to see in race 2 with 35 cars reverse, our biggest reverse grid of the season.
Yeah, that is going to be chaos, isn't it, for our drivers? And it's just that, I guess, a bit of a matter of survival, I suppose, isn't it? To try and keep your nose clean and just try and bag the points at this particular layout. It's almost like a Californian Brands Hatch Indy.
Yeah, it is a little bit. Oh, we got a big battle down into the hairpin. It's Guinness versus Nagy, and that is Nagy trying to defend from Guinness here. Up 1 place for Guinness, staying in the same place for Daniel. And we're entering the final couple of laps of this race. I think 3 laps to go now, and Guinness going the long way around. This can be very profitable. Gotta make sure that you don't accidentally understeer into the wall. It didn't quite open up for him, but he's taking a wide line, pulling some shapes behind the 4th place man. Tassi is rapidly, look at Tassi, he's right onto the back of these guys all of a sudden. He was really nowhere, and Harris might be onto these guys if they're not careful. But I think Nagy isn't really any slower than these guys. He's just having to go offline for a couple of corners, and it's inviting these other drivers in for a fight. This, I think, is possibly the best place to overtake because it's such a wide turn in, and it's quite a big braking area. But it's not quite happening for Guinness, and now Tassi is just going to pick up on any mistake these guys make.
Indeed, yeah, he certainly will do. As we see Tassi up to 6th spot as well. Good drive from the Hungarian aces, the real world drivers. Guinness in there as well, and Guinness is a super driver as well. Commentator on another touring car series where he runs, and he absolutely dominates. And we've nicknamed him the Laurent Aiello of TCR, and whoop! But he won't like that one as Tassi barges his way through, coming through. Goodness.
Well, he's defending his teammate there. We got the 2 Hungarians up into 4th and 5th, both driving for 4K Raiders Motorsports. And well, that was a little bit cleaner than the move that we saw earlier on, wasn't it? From I'm not quite sure who it was, in fact. But yeah, you're right. And so yeah, nice move there from Tassi. Moves up into 5th place, and that should be a little bit more secure now for Nagy up in 4th position. But I expect to see plenty of more moves like that down into the hairpin in races 2 and 3. Everyone's quite close to one another, but it's been relatively few overtakes in this first race as well, Guinness not giving up. I think he's a bit aggrieved by that one, and if he has half the chance, he will try to turn the favour to Tassi down into the hairpin.
Yeah, I feel he's about to morph from Laurent Aiello into Ivan Muller, which is a couple of steps up the aggression scale. So we'll see if Guinness, of course, into the final hairpin here at Sonoma. It's so tight. It's an opportunity for some real lunges and block passes. Warrington Guinness, you can see there, really tries to get very late in the brakes, and he does it as well. And see Daniel Nagy there, his of course we're looking at Tassi in front, but Daniel Nagy has a giraffe as his mascot. I like that, that's cool. As we head on to the last lap, the white flag is in the air, and well, Wojciech Swaridovic, he kind of got the job done really in the opening lap when he saw Cedric and Harrison battling, got that vital bit of of comfort, a vital bit of margin, and that's just been critical. It's kind of stayed pretty stagnant for the whole 20 minutes.
Yeah, and I can't remember the last time that Wojciech won a race 1. It probably wasn't that long ago, but usually Wojciech gets his race wins in race 2 and 3 when we have the reverse grid. Usually very good at getting up through the order. But in this one, you're right, he's just been able to pull away, got pole position, and has been able to hold off the rest till the end of the race. It looks like still Harrison has spent the entirety of the last 5 minutes 2/10 behind. Cedric, I wonder if he'll go for a last corner lunge on his rival.
Well, the thing with Harrison is he's such a measured, such a complete driver, and it doesn't take anything too crazy if it's not necessary. He has a little look up the inside of Sedgwick there, decides against it, but it's going to be Wojciech Soridovic, a brilliant drive from pole position for Apex Racing Team, and whoa, Roman Boltler's getting right involved in the melee here. He's dropped a ton of spots at the end. Norbert Leitner's gone up and bagged a few more. There's obviously been something serious gone on there, but over the line they go. But brilliant drive from Wojciech Soridovic. Jack Sedgwick, the World Championship driver, the Tag Heuer Super Cup driver, in second, and Kieran Harrison in third. And well, Kieran Harrison he kind of like the Colin Turkington of the championship, Sam. He just plods along, books the points, doesn't get involved in silly incidents, and just, well, that's why he's got the number 1 on the side of the car.
Yeah, definitely. Nice driving there, and those top 3 were really the class of the field. I mean, some very established drivers, and yeah, pulling it away from the rest of the order. But I think there's some probably going to be some drivers out of position who will be looking very good. Or Woodhouse, this could be a reverse grid pole here for Woodhouse. I recall in the Euro V8 Supercar Series we saw a tactic like this where a driver deliberately got a reverse grid pole. I think this is genuine from Woodhouse. I think he has run out of fuel. Oh, come on, mate. Deploy the clutch. You're almost there. 35th. Is it reverse grid pole? Come on. Go. Go. Get out. Get out the car, man. He's not made it. He's not made it. It's 36th. Unbelievable. And Woodhouse loses out on reverse grid pole by a meter.
Someone give him a bump.
Oh, poor him. Shirley. Oh, all under Shirley's control right there. Mark, I mean, he was unlucky as well there because obviously he was involved in the lap 2 wreck. Oh, that was heartbreaking right there.
That reminded me of the days in the World Rally Championship when they would go slow on purpose to not be first on the road sweeper the next day, and they would have the times coming into the car and would go slow. Sebastian Loeb was a genius at that. Anyway, Wojciech Soridovic, your winner then by 7/10 of a second from Jack Sedgwick, and Kieran Harrison once again on the podium in third. Daniel Nagy is fourth, and Attila Tassi in fifth. The 2 Hungarians, really, really strong drives from them. Corns Guinness was sixth, followed by Damien Harris, Jason Cooper, Norbert Leitner, and George Simmons. The Comma Police in 10th. Craig A. Williams is 11th, followed by Vasily Zaitsev, Roman Bokler, Preben Wally, Fraser Smith, Marcel Tai, David Baker, and Igor Shirikov. 19th position went to Ben Gregory, top in the AM class, followed by Adam Hadfield, Tim Perry, Jaroslav Kabula, Mark Johnson, Adam Bath. Good drive from Adam. Sergei Glazkov, Carl Janssen somehow limps a car with about 1 wheel left on the wagon to 26th, that by some form of miracle. 27th was Jens Ledwick, followed by Toby Ward, John Billingsley, Luke Kidsley, Oliver Ackerman, Ollie Marcus Jorgen, Robert Rund, Kevin Marshallsey, Martin Shirley, Mark Woodhouse, Eric Boulton, and Terry Flatten was 38th. And finally, Nathan Davies, Arjen Bakker, Baron Glover, and Hub Etterman, Marcel Fritsch, Oyston Hereford, Marius Karlstad, Jake Robertson, Rob Sanford, and Stu Abbott. 48 cars here at Sonoma. So Mark Woodhouse starts 36th instead of first. Not so fun for the Team Mad driver. That was agonising to watch, Sam.
It was. Apparently these cars don't have a clutch. Apologies for that one. But then Sam Kimmy's doing, Sam Kimmy's doing the camera's boss. Apparently you can kind of push it forwards with the starter motor. So maybe he needs to look up the encyclopedia a bit more there, Woodhouse, to find those extra fumes. As we've got a little bit of a pause, but we are now 45 seconds away from green flag action for race 2.
Well, there is a lesson there, Sam, a good lesson that don't buy a car that's only got 2 pedals. You want a clutch and a manual gearbox. That's it. Don't buy a DSG, buy a manual without no messing about with. It serves them right for not having a car with a proper gearbox in it.
Absolutely. You know, you fit one in sim, you know, come on guys, if you're be committed to it. Yes, so some uses and some disadvantages, but yeah, I'm sure you would have loved to coast the line there on that occasion.
Well, being Scottish and master of the lift and coast on the road, the pop it into neutral going down a hill, I mean, we're that squeaky here in Scotland.
I think all the drivers are almost on the grid, and we are going to have the lights on.
We are indeed. Yep, here they go. 3 are on, 4, 5. And the 212 of Martin Shirley leads us away. Great launch there from pole position. We'll head into turn 1 ahead with the American Rund and the German Oliver Ackermann in third, who has a look around the outside. He's going to hopefully... Oh, is he going to get hung out to dry there? Oh, a bit messy, very messy. Adam Bath's off in the Aston Villa mobile. Oh dear, oh dear, dear. They're all rushing by him, but somehow not ending up in a bigger accident than they did.
Oh, that's another car, unfortunately. Oh no, they're going to come back onto circuit, and that's a couple of... that's one of the HM Engineering cars off the circuit. I think it was Guinness who hit the wall hard, and now we're entering the bit of the circuit where it was a problem last time. And again, we've got many cars alongside one another. Also another green car going into the wall on the inside, and then of course we've also got the hairpin as well to deal with. Shirley's dropping down the order from the lead. I don't even see him. Where's he gone? He is over there, and that's going to take a while for him to get back going. I wonder if that was an unforced stare. That's why I'm putting my money on. And then, yeah, still got the final hairpin to go, with many gyros getting a lot of places up.
Yeah, that's a horrible corner just coming into the fast S's there for, big lunge from Matassi. He's like, you can make my break, that's fine. Oh, dear me. Tilatasi pushing his way through, proper aggression, and Eric Boulton, Arjen Bakarov as well. And, well, we knew that. I'm actually surprised. We've actually had a relatively small amount of cars go off at that hairpin. It could have been a lot worse, but Oliver Ackermann, who had a great run last time out at Road America, he's up there in the box seat already.
Yeah, he really held his own. I think he was behind Cedric, wasn't he, last time out at Road America? But he's going to lose the lead here to Ole Marcus Jorgen, who I think started the season as an amateur driver, was so good they got promoted to a pro, and he's proving that as we got a big crash with Marshall. And he tries to get through as well. That was a horrendous crash there for Bokler right there. He's got a terrible front end. He absolutely stormed through, must have been completely blindsided, and well, that could have been a much worse round, that narrow part of the track.
Yeah, there was not really any room to do anything about that. That was just poor fortune. It can happen in racing. So I had plenty of those incidents last night in the ARA Porsche Cup at Long Beach. It was even narrower than here at Sonoma, but Roman Bokler carries on nevertheless with a lot of damage on the front of his Audi. It looks like it's, well, how often have you seen an Audi A3 saloon with the front of it completely wrecked on the outside lane of the motorway, having followed the car in front too closely? I know it's a stereotype, but it's a stereotype because it's true. Anyway, Carl Janssen, another stereotype, Scandinavians fast racing drivers, I prefer that one, up to second place, and Carl Janssen, he is just the master of maximising absolutely every situation. How in God's name did he get up to 26th place in that last race? I still can't believe it. And he's now up to second in this one. Oh, God, I put it at the wall there. Goodness me. But Carl Janssen, this is why he's leading the championship. He's just making the absolute most out of everything he gets.
Yeah, and I guess after that race, he's probably lost the lead of the championship. But if it ends like this, then he'll certainly be retaking it. He's managing to hold off Jorgen at the moment. Ackermann making a slight break for it, but we've got a long way in this race to go. It won't be an easy race win for Janssen, but definitely I'd put him as the favourite from this point onwards, and yeah, crucially those 75 points could be pivotal. Bokler getting ahead of Billingsley, so Bokler, despite that damage, seems fine out there. He's still got good pace, and he could potentially fight for the podium later on. Billingsley's off the circuit. He's actually gone into the pit lane there, it seems. Odd pit lane entry here. I assume that was deliberate, maybe a jump start or something. Shame for John Billingsley, because he was mixing it with some very strong gyros up at the front there.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, we've got the usual boneyard of smashed up cars in the pit lane right now, as well. The wounded HM Engineering car in there as well. Championship. Whoa! Craig Williams gets ploughed out the way. Now I think that was Harrison. Ooh, quite unusual to see Harrison getting involved in a little bit of push and shove there as well. But up to 22nd for the defending champion, and oh, Toby Ward's off as well. Oh. Dear, oh dear.
Yeah, back on his way, but he was doing all right there. Ward, I think, was up in the just on the outskirts of the top 10. Sam Kuma just pointing out, by the way, no Scandinavian driver has ever won the F1 World Championship, because obviously Finland is not in Scandinavia. So there's that.
That's shattered. That's blown my mind. I was sure that Finland was in Scandinavia.
It's kind of near it. Apparently, it's not.
Oh my! That's my world is shattered around me, sir.
Oh dear! Come on, guys, stay on the circuit. Keep within the yellow lines as it is around this place. Karlstad going the long way round of Davies, and then they've got Harris behind. Certainly Davies and Harris have. I've seen them in the stewards room once or twice in the past. Costa, new driver, but he's right in the middle of them at the moment. He just backs out a bit, does Costa, but too wide there from Davies, and now he was so slow on corner entry, and Costa couldn't really do anything about it. Tassie's off the circuit as well. Tassie's down to 10th place for some sort of reason.
Whoa, we've got another driver on. Oh, dearie me, that's Tim Perry for 3 Spires Boosted Motorsport. Dear me, but yeah, you have to think that Tassie was certainly getting involved in his fair share of rough and tumble. He's now got Jack Sedgwick on his case. How on earth has Jack Sedgwick made his way up to the fringes of the top 10 already from the mid part of just out inside the top 40? Goodness.
This was
that
across a little bit there, Tassie. I think that's often a natural kind of action to when you're slow to cover it off, as we've got a change for the lead. Janssen up ahead of Ackerman. I think he made the move down at the hairpin. He'd been knocking on the door for about a lap or so, and it is Carl Janssen up into the lead, I think going for his second race win of the season and to retake the championship lead.
Indeed, although there have been plenty of Scandinavian World Rally Champions, the real World Championship.
Can't deny that.
Peder Solberg. Now, here's one for you, Sam, or for both Sam, producer Sam and commentator Sam. Is Estonia in Scandinavia then?
I would say not. No.
It's not. Okay, right. Goodness me. Well, education hour. I always feel it's geography hour with you, Sam.
I personally, I love geography. I love countries, so I'm up for that. Forget the race. Let's talk about countries instead.
Well, we've got plenty of them here. It's this is what I love about the championship and sim racing in general, that you can have drivers competing all over the world in real time on their home computer. It will continue to boggle my mind. It's just amazing. But we're looking at Robert Runn. This is his home race here. I don't know where in the United States he is from, but it's we're certainly coming here to Sonoma, one of the home races for him. Of course, we had one last week as well at Road America. A wonderful, wonderful circuit. Couldn't get a more different layout, though, to this particular layout at Sonoma. Very, very tight, very finicky, very technical, Sam. But Road America, a lot more. You're really stretching every last ounce of the car there.
Yeah, for sure. It's nice to have kind of this variance from round to round. We've got a massive queue of cars right now who would undoubtedly have all passed each other behind these guys. but with this circuit, of course, you do have to work at it, and it takes a while to get past a train of cars. Got to pick them off one by one. Harris seemingly gets him through this battle, but you can see how close the drivers are behind. You can also check out the live timing link in the description below. Click on that and you can see the intervals between each of the drivers, how far behind they are off the lead driver, their best lap time, their last lap time, and all of that stuff. So I recommend clicking on the link in the description below, provided by SDK Gaming. Big thanks to them. You also provide our lovely overlay that you can see for yourself, which is brilliant for broadcasting and streaming, and they do a very nice heads-up display with a fuel calculator and everything. So check out SDK Gaming for more info on that. But yeah, at the moment this is just a sea of orange for pretty much 15 cars straight, and this is right at the front of it. Adam Bath leading the amateur categories, leading the race, Adam, which is remarkable. Andrew Woodhouse helping him out with the spotsing. Tonight he'll be whispering in his ear with those Yorkshire tones, and it's helping him a lot at the moment. He's up in 11th place, only 1 place behind the 6-time champion Project Savinovich.
You chose your words very carefully there, Sam. I could tell. Hello, Woody. Hope you're watching as well. So we always need to fit in a one Andrew Woodhouse trademark. Oh, bang into every broadcast. Oh, they nearly had one there. Oh my word, Adam Bath, that was close. That was so close. And he's got Daniel Nagy, real world touring car driver, right behind him, but not in the slightest bit worried about it. Now, speaking of our SDK overlay graphics, I saw it in use last night, Sam, on the Scottish Motor Racing Club, their online sim racing series as well. So nice to see it being used for some online club racing as well, which was very nice to see. And do you know that Scottish Motor Racing Club was set up by a guy, or one of the founders was a guy called Ian Scott Watson, who was Jim Clark's first sponsor and best pal.
Yeah, I mean, it's testament to how usable the SDK game is.
Correct. Even us Scots can work it out.
You've got to be very intuitive, big bright buttons. Even I mean, I'm from Norfolk. I mean, we don't have schools or roads where I'm from, so even I've edited some of the graphics and stuff. So it's certainly very useful to me. Rund is down to 16th place. He's lost a lot of places very quickly. He's kind of allowing this entire pack of cars to go past him. Flatson's past him. Oh, that's a brave move there from Harris. Oh, brilliant driving there from Rund to actually leave space on the inside. He must have got told by a spotter, you got 2 cars on the inside, and he left enough room. So nice avoidance of a big wreck there for Rund, but I think he's going to get overtaken by Harris very soon. The reverse grid for the feature race coming up is 32 cars, so Rund just needs to make sure he stays in the top 32 and he'll have a good chance in race 3.
Yeah, just a little bit of a compromised runoff, and Rund having to go through pit lane. I wonder, do you think he's maybe exceeded the incident points? I think, Sam.
I am trying to figure it out now. I have the ability to see this. Unfortunately, this really annoying SDK Gaming software is avoiding it for me. No instance. 11 incidents for him. So it's not to do with that. Strange one.
Maybe he's done a Mark Woodhouse and miscalculated his fuel.
Perhaps so. I mean, that would be on another scale, wouldn't it, compared to what Mark did?
Well, we did see it, of course, in the 24 Hours of Daytona last weekend. Saw a driver, a GTE team who will remain nameless, who were in the lead, in control of the top split Daytona 24 Hour, and ran out of fuel just before the bus stop, about maybe 3 hours towards the end. Couldn't believe what we were watching. Honestly, I was like, oh, that's that'll be an interesting one in the changing room, shall we say? One of the worst feelings on in motorsport. I'm sure it's worse in real life, but in sim it doesn't feel too good as well to run out of fuel.
this is for the top positions for the reverse grid. I've forgotten how big the reverse grid was. 32 cars. Of course, it is a random amount of reverse, depending on how many drivers we have for each round. We can have, for this round, I think between 23 and 38 cars reversed for each of the races. So quite high for this meeting, with a 35 and a 32. And currently Ledwig will be on reverse grid pole, but I don't hold out much hope for him to keep behind Shurikov, who is a very quick driver, is Shurikov, very high rating, and Sanford a little bit further behind. Rund, after that pit stop, it comes out in 35th position.
Amazing how that when you're on that bubble for the reverse grid, the stakes are even higher than at the front, because it's well, as we saw with Mark Woodhouse, it's the difference between being first or outside the top 30 on the grid. And of course, the circuit here, like Sonoma, it certainly adjusts your chances as well. So that's what Igor Shorokov trying to do just now, trying to get past Jens Ledwig, both in the pro class. So we'd love to get that front row grid spot. Oh, God, it's hopping over the curb. They fairly use all the room there coming down. And what's amazing watching the cars there coming into these downhill braking zones, how much the car gets very, very busy on the brakes. Although it has ABS, it does dance about all over the place, kind of stands on its nose.
Yeah, and these guys really lean on the tires. I mean, they use absolutely every bit of the adhesion that these tires give them. So I think this car, as we see, a move for second place. This is Ty trying to get past Ackerman. This would be a brilliant result for Marcel Ty if he could get past the T3 Esports driver, two Germans, up against one another. I'd say this is possibly the most perfectionist car that we have, just because you kind of see each of the drivers and they're almost identical, but it's, those hundredths of a second that you gain through one or two corners around the lap, which really makes the difference. So yeah, absolutely, really good driving out here. Coming up to a back marker now are these drivers. Might be Eric Bolton, not quite sure, but there goes Ackerman straight past, and Ty as well. Jorgen maybe going to get a little bit held up there. Ty just not able to stay close enough through the S's, and can't get close enough into the hairpin. So still got 4 minutes to go. I think that's about 4 more laps remaining, 3 more laps probably left of this race in order to get the move done.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very close. Yeah, 3, maybe 4 at the most. Marcel Ty here trying everything to get past his countryman, Oliver Ackerman, in second place for T3 Esports, 171 car. And like you said, Sam, you're right, it is a real car that requires absolute perfection. There's not loads of power to get out of a situation. There's not loads of downforce either. There's virtually no downforce. So, a little bit of a nudge there. Terry Flatten getting a nice little holo there from Zaitsev. And here comes Damien Owen Harris. He spots the opportunity, ever the opportunist. They bang wheels up into, up over the crest there. And Damien, I think quite wisely there, thought, I'll just back out of this one and live to fight another day.
Well, Vasily won't be easy to pass. Damien's really been in the wars, hasn't he? And he's up 12 places, to be fair. Damien behind him, Karlstad up 27 places, Etterman up 23. I've also got Jack Sedgwick up 26th, up there in 8th place. So some huge gain in that. I don't feel like Harris has necessarily moved up that many places since the start. He gained like 20 odd places, I think, off the start. Apologies, like 10 places off the start, and then kind of just picked up a couple more cars since. But still, very good points for Damien, who has really established himself as one of the top drivers in this series so far this season. I think Nagy and Harrison were a little bit alongside for a moment.
Yeah, they are.
And this is Nagy defending for all he is worth against Harrison. And at the moment it's working for him, but here comes Harrison. He's still got part of his car alongside. It's really tricky to stay close to the second part of turn 1, and Nagy does hold on. And this is dangerous now for Harrison, because like I said, Nagy doesn't have too much to lose.
No, definitely not, and he's gonna be properly aggressive as well. But Harrison will know that. He's such a smart driver, as Kieran Harrison. You just see that the way that he conducts himself out on track, it's that doesn't take any unnecessary risk, and knows that he's got plenty of pace, as much pace as anybody underneath the car, and just deploys it when necessary. So, up into I tell you what, for Harrison, up into 12th place after starting at the wrong end of the top of the, well, nearly just inside the top 40. So a good chunk of places gained, and the car's got a few battle scars on it, but mostly okay. 21 places gained, same as Nagios. It's almost like they've followed each other through. But Swaridovic 25 places up, Jack Sedgwick 27 places gained, and he's now got Roman Bogler for company here.
Yeah, he just got past Bogler in the hairpin, so Sedgwick recently gaining that 27th place. He's got Smith ahead. We've got 2 more laps to go in this race because Jansen's setting such a good pace out here. It feels by Ackerman, then I think we'd miss out, but Jansen with a 5-second lead I think will force an extra lap for these drivers, so hopefully they prepared for that with the fuel. But yeah, I wonder if Cedric could get Smith here. Fraser Smith doing very well, by the way, up there in 6th place, up about a second ahead of Cedric. As Ackerman, Jorgen's kind of joined this one. He's still a little bit absent, isn't he? It just seems like Ackerman is fast around all of the circuit apart from these few corners here. And they're kind of the corners where he needs to be quick. So it's not really giving him much of a chance down in the hairpin.
No, of course, you've got to make sure you're, yeah, exactly right. Really, really quick through the S's and then able to set it up into this hairpin here that Carl Jansen is negotiating now. Well, his evening started from pit lane, made his way up with a lot of damage to 26th, got the reverse grid, and he goes over the line just in time for one more lap, so he'll get a bit of a parade lap here. 119.3 for Jansen, and that was not really what Oliver Ackerman wanted to see. He wanted Jansen up ahead of him to catch the checkered flag, not the white flag, because now Ackerman has another lap to defend from Marcel Tide behind him, and look at Jorgen there in 4th as well, in that nice blue coloured car, the Zodiac Sim Racing machine. It's game on. Ackerman could be off the podium here if he's not careful.
Yeah, it could be. Is this a chance for Ty? This is where he's very good. Good speed carried through the right-hander, maybe a little bit of oversteer. Now he looks to the inside, but kind of just had to back out of it, and then he misses the apex slightly. I think that's probably game over here for Ty. He'll have to concentrate on behind him. It was a good effort, and if he can hold on to 3rd place, that would still be, I believe, his best result in the series.
Oh, I tell you, absolutely. I tell you what, Jorgen, my goodness me, just missed the wall by just a whisker, using every last bit of the track as Ackerman comes up to the final hairpin in a moment. But here's going to be your winner then, Carl Jansen, championship leader coming into this meeting, looking like he might maintain that lead after what looked like a desperate start. But Carl Jansen is your race winner here in race 2 once again, and continues his charge towards his Apex Racing League Touring Car Championship title. Certainly an early campaign for Oliver Ackerman. Holds off, and we got big melee here at the hairpin. Damian Harris in there as well, Zaitsev in there, and they all drag race up to the line, headlights flashing like goodness me, and Adam Bath is going to take the AM class victory in 13th spot. What a drive from our ART commentator.
Yeah, that's brilliant from Adam. He's been very impressive so far this season, really mixing it with some good drivers. But that's definitely the highlight, 13th place. We are totally biased. Well done, Adam. Congratulations. It was a nice battle though between Zaitsev and Gregory as Rund, for some reason, comes into the pits. Don't know why you'd do that. And he's just lost a place. Shirley's going to finish in 34th, so the good luck of Shirley getting reverse grid pole hasn't quite materialised for race 2, because it will be Shirikov on pole for race 3. And that's a very competitive front row. So we also have, oh come on guys, put the fuel in. Put the fuel in. You will make it to the line at least, there you go. But yeah, Ledwig in 38th. So on reverse grid pole then, will be Shirikov and Davies. That's a really high quality front row of the grid for race 3, so could be interesting, as I think we've got the results for race 2.
Yeah, let's have a look at how they finished then for race 2. Carl Jansen getting through to the win by 6 seconds from Oliver Ackerman, who expertly held off Marcel Tai and Ollie Marcus Jorgen. Preben Wally was 5th, followed by Fraser Smith, Jack Sedgwick, Roman Bokler, Jason Cooper and Wojciech Swaridovic. Daniel Nagy was 11th, followed by Kieran Harrison, the defending champion, and Adam Bath for Scuderia Alpha Touring Car wins the AM category. followed by Velisi Zaitsev, Ben Gregory, Terry Flatten, Damian Harris, Marius Karlstad, Hubetterman, and Mark Johnson rounding out the top 20. Mark Woodhouse, good drive from him, up to 21st from 36th on the grid. Sergei Glazkov was 22nd, followed by Austin Herford, Jake Robertson, David Baker, Yaroslav Kabula, Craig Williams, and Marcel Fritsch. Finally, Norbert Leitner, Baron Glover, Nathan Davies, Igor Shirikov, Rob Sandford, Martin Shirley, Tim Perry, Stu Abbott, Jens Ledwig, Robert Rund. And our last few runners here in 39th spot was George Simmons, followed by Eric Goulton, Arjen Bakker, Toby Ward, Attila Tassi, John Billingsley, Corentin Guinez, Kevin Marshalsey, Adam Hadfield, and Luke Kidsley. So while the drivers are out having their warm-up session for the final race of the evening, we're going to take a very brief break here on Apex Racing TV, and we'll be right back in just a moment. Don't go anywhere.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including four-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a four-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
Three-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a three-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this
Welcome back to Sonoma, where we are preparing for the third and final race of this meeting here in wine country. Starting on pole position will be Igor Shirokov and Nathan Davies joining him on the front row of the grid. Row 2 will be Baron Glover and Norbert Leitner for HM Engineering. Watch for the Hungarian, he is quick. Row 3, Marcel Fritsch and Craig Williams, followed by Jaroslav Kabula, David Baker, Jake Robertson, Oystein Hereford, Sergei Glazkov and Mark Woodhouse. Row 7 sees Mark Johnston, Hugh Betterman, Marius Karlstad, Damien Harris, Terje Flatten, Ben Gregory, Vasily Zaitsev, Adam Bath, Kieran Harrison, Daniel Nagy, Wojciech Swirly and Jason Cooper, rounding out row 12. And the last few, Roman Boltler, Jack Sedgwick, Fraser Smith, Preben Wiley, Ollie Marcus Jorgen, Marcel Tai, Oliver Ackerman and the rest as the lights are prepared. Last race of the evening. Here we go then. Shirokov leads us away from pole position. A nice clean launch there, but a good launch as well from Davies in the 273 car, who's going to have a big look. And there goes Norbert Leitner for HM Engineering. Big look. Oh, we've got a spinner and all that's going to cause big problems. Craig Williams is off. No luck again for him. And oh, it's an absolute pinball machine there at turn 2. I think that's Damon Harris off 2. Goodness me, it's all going on here, Sam.
Yeah, a couple of cars spewing off at turn 1 as well. But yeah, once you get a spinner through 2, it's difficult to get out of the way. 4 wide, going down the hill. Also got Leitner. Oh, Leitner was one of the favourites for the race win, but Shirokov and Sebula up there. Also, Robertson, maybe he could get up his first podium of the season as well, but he has mixed up that front of the order as we are on board with Janssen. Brilliant view of everything that's going on. He gets a big old hit. He's trying to give space to the drivers on the left, drivers to the right, and not trying to hit anyone ahead as well, but he makes a smart move there on Slavinovic, which could be important. Obviously, championship contender, and pretty much whoever beats each other in this race, they may well end up as the highest point scorer of the day, and he has got ahead of Slavinovic. So nice move right there, but they're still fighting right down into the hairpin. A little bit of a tapping back. Savinovic is still alongside us. He's just there with the 23 on the side of his car, and it might actually be Wojciech with the upper hand. These guys getting 15 places. He has to gain 15 places right there.
Yeah, and look as we swoop down towards turn 1 and swoop up to turn 1, I should say. Oh, big moment there behind. I think that was maybe Eckerman. Oh my word, and go for the switchback again, and Janssen keeps the inside line there, but Kabula is off. Flattened just 2 seconds behind, and Jake Robertson, one of our World Championship drivers, the World Championship Rallycross driver, in 3rd right now, with Karlstad in 4th, and Kieran Harrison, well there you go. He's just the stealth master, isn't he, Sam? He's got his way up he goes into 4th position. Brilliant move there, but goodness me, that onboard shot we saw there on the last lap, goodness me, it shows you what it's like being in the middle of the ARLTC mosh pit.
Definitely. I wonder if we could get a replay of what happened to Shirokov, because Shirokov was leading the race until at least the midway part of the last lap. Must have lost it in the back end of the last lap and is down into 6th place. So that's a shame for Shirokov, who I honestly thought might be in line for a race win. Davies has hit the wall in the background, but I think he's all right. No, just a small hit with the wall. Oh no, he's not all right. Take that back. He's got significant damage on the car and will probably not finish this race. Savinovic up into 15th place. So Savinovic had been getting back past Janssen there and managing to put a car between the two of them. Here was the mistake from Shirokov. You could see the gap that he has. He has lost huge amounts of time with this mistake.
That's oh, he's gonna rue that mistake of Shirokov. He did have a really strong advantage and had to sort of eke his way back onto the track, and the cars all stream by. And whoa, Janssen were off all 4 wheels on the grass there. You have to be very careful not to run that roulette too much. But goodness me, look at the traffic in front. It's like Times Square. Goodness me. Oh dear me, or maybe more likely Hollywood Boulevard in this part of the world. Oh, Janssen
dear. With a bit of contact with Jorgen. And I think Jorgen's going to be out of the race with that one. That was a little bit suspect there from Janssen. He has got a couple of penalties this season, but well, we'll see what the stewards think of that one, if he reports it, obviously, Jorgen.
No fellow Norwegian camaraderie there, it would appear. Clearly that must mean anything. So, of course, Janssen, oh, for goodness sake, I've done it again. Carl Janssen's Swedish. Now, that is a Scandinavian, no Scandinavian camaraderie, but Janssen, goodness me, he's showing some proper aggression here, leaning right on the boot lid of Swiridowicz there, and Swiridowicz going, excuse me, that's a little impolite, but I suppose touring car racing is impolite by nature.
Yeah, it's fascinating to see Swiridowicz and Janssen so close to one another. You know, it's all well and good seeing two drivers battle for the race win. It can be very entertaining, but kind of seeing them move up through the order can often be just as exciting. They are insanely evenly matched. You'd be very hard pushed to call who's the faster out of the pair of them today. Ackerman trying to get past Cooper ahead of him. Ackerman having a very good race too, obviously, so he must have gained a lot of places in this race too, so great job from Ackerman. However, he's got Hadfield, who we haven't seen too much of tonight. Hadfield driving for 5-star motorsport, who have been very good so far this season. No Bobby Thompson out there, unfortunately, but still got Cooper and Hadfield in close company. In the end, Ackerman being able to hold on against Hadfield on that occasion.
Indeed, yeah, good, brilliant. You said a great third race here from Ackerman, continuing to impress in this series. But really good. I tell you what, this has been a fantastic recovery from Mark Woodhouse from that really unfortunate missing the finishing line and missing reverse grid pole by about 2 meters in race 1, and he's recovered so well as Mark Woodhouse. In 11th place right now, but he's got big company in Zaitsev, our former leader. Chirikov was our former leader. Janssen's off, yes, good spot. Oh, goodness me, gathers it up, but he's shedding places down to 20th, goodness.
Yeah, look at Woodhouse and Gregory as well, because these are two of the top drivers in the amateur category. Woodhouse having a very good round at Road America. Gregory currently the championship leader, and that is Gregory up into second place out of the amateur drivers, and really a threat now of dropping a few more places is Woodhouse. Oh, Woodhouse is almost completely spun. That was a bad hit on the corner of his car. That might be terminal damage, but again, these cars are resilient tonight. What's happened to the damage model? It seems so much sterner to the cars, as Woodhouse does a brilliant cutback move as the couple of drivers ahead of him were battling. He's going to get back ahead of Hadfield, so he takes about 10 steps backwards, but gains a couple again. And Hadfield will still be alongside. Big drift in the background as well for one of the drivers, yeah, real high quality field out here, and no one's giving a second to anyone.
Definitely not. Definitely not. It appears that someone's thrown a grenade into the middle of this battle. All of a sudden, getting very, very touchy-feely here, and Mark Woodhouse got the brunt of it. I think, I'm not sure, but I think he might have got a bit of a nudge from Adam Bath, who's a couple of places up the road. But maybe Adam just thinking, oh, look at me, the touring car driver. I'm an M-class winner. Out of my way.
I mean, Woody needs to retire driving here. It's clear. We knew this long ago, that his voice is much better than his driving. And seemingly he is... he could be the next Bono or something, or the next Rob Smedley, because but Adam is driving brilliantly tonight. There he is in 17th position. Ahead of Bokler, because real-life driver is Bokler. Had a very good race 1, didn't see too much of him in race 2, but he still scored good points, so Bokler might be probably in the top 5 tonight in terms of highest point scorers, as Bath is very wide and he's going to give up 1 place.
Oh, might lose 2 here as well. He's trying to gather it up. He's getting to a big old wiggle. Oh, and just a little nudge onto the back of Bokler there. Ackerman through as well. And Kabula and Flatten going for this. Oh, and now look who's there. Kieran Harrison, Mr. Stealth himself. He just, throughout the night, he just keeps himself to himself and just picks his way through the field, never ruffling feathers. And, well, that's, like I said it before, I'll say it again, that is why he's the division champion. That's why he carries the #1 board. And here we go. Big look up the inside from Kieran Harrison. And can he get the move sealed up? There's a big double entry there. Oh, but he does, yes. He gets into second position. And absolutely pristine move once more from Kieran Harrison, Sam.
Yeah, and by the way, that camera angle looks as though the camera's about 10 foot in front of the car. It is on the bonnet. It's like quite far back on the car. It's just that the field of view is very small. Just to clear that up, it's pretty cool to see him go for that move. Here he goes for another one down the inside. Oh, he glitches out to Sebula. Where is he? Up here. And it looks like Harrison's taking the lead though. Sebula, is he going to be gone from this session? After driving so well. I think he had connection issues earlier on, so he might suddenly reappear, but that would be a shame if that's the way that he loses the lead. But Harrison going for the race win now tonight, and that would be a very satisfying race win, and of course would mean that the top three in the championship, Janssen, Savidovic and Harrison, would have all won a race this evening.
Indeed, yeah. Now that will make it very, very spicy heading into the next round. And, oh, goodness me, this is, what a night this has been here in the Apex Racing League Touring Car Championship. And do you know what, Sam? It's Jake Robertson nearly pancakes it straight into the wall. Wowee. Oof, dear me. But yeah, it just shows you that when we go to a circuit that's really, to be honest, this isn't a circuit we see very much here on iRacing. Certainly not in regular use, really. But in this layout as well, it just kind of evens the playing field a bit, and it's given us actually some really, really enjoyable motorsport.
Yeah, it sure has. A few drivers were practicing on the other lap. I'm half surprised that they haven't got lost during this race. But no, we don't use this layout too much. I don't think I've ever commentated on a race with this layout, but yeah, it's been all right. Apart from the few incidents that we had on the first lap, albeit they weren't too bad. Bokler going for the move on Gregory, who man up to 15th now. So past Ben Gregory, who Gregory finished runner-up. Oh, Bath, yeah, hitting the wall. Looks like his car's all right there.
Yeah, it was enough for him to know about it, but not so bad that he can't continue. So yeah, just a little bit of a pancake into the wall there, and a little nudge from Oliver Ackerman. That will certainly do the trick, and Ackerman keen to make a move. But if Van der Bath can continue this would be a second podium of the night, and get him a huge strong bag of points. And like you said, I think he'll be insisting that Andrew Woodhouse becomes the AlphaTauri touring car spotter rather than paid driver.
Yes, albeit they've got a good chance at the amateur title to those two, so maybe get on the recruitment drive. I'm sure we would be at the top of their list, you know, as we are at the top of any motorsport list. But, you know, guys, sorry, can't do the commentary, but I'm sure there's some other decent drivers that they could recruit. Oh no, that is Karlstad, and he's collided with Nagy, and Shurkov moves past both of them up into 4th place. Also means that Robertson is well clear in 3rd place. Again, would be great to get a replay of how that one happened. And Sam Kumar, as always, doing a great job on the timing. So Karlstad, that was a bit aggressive, wasn't it, from Nagy there, because it was quite inevitable that gap was going to close.
If we can see it again, Marius Karlstad was the instigator of the initial hit. He had just a big lunge up the inside. Here it goes. A good job from our producer, Sam Kumo. So just watch this here. Marius Karlstad has just a massive lunge. 0% lunge. Jake Robertson acts as an Audi-shaped brake, and Daniel Nagy had nowhere to go there, in my view.
Yes, the organisers or the stewards will look at the 20 different views that they can do to assess that one. Of course, post-race stewards in this Apex Racing League, as are all our Apex Racing Leagues. And we have got a couple of Apex Racing Leagues sign-ups open for. So on Sunday, we've got the first round of the Apex Racing League GT Championship. That's got proper cash prizes, like coupons or whatever. It's also got that, and not trophies, but it's also got trophies, but actual hard-earned cash that you can win, and that's starting on Sunday. So if you feel like taking part in that, still about 5 to 10 places open. the Apex Racing League GT Championship, sponsored by Colbeck, and that will be on Sunday. Go to apexracingleague.com to find sign-up details for that. Right, at the very least, sign up to or subscribe to Apex Racing TV, and you can check out the stream on Sunday. We've also got entries open for the kind of close now for the Apex Racing League Prototype Championship, but for the Apex Racing Team Championship as well, the GT Team Championship, you can sign up to that. That starts next Saturday, not this Saturday, next Saturday, for the Apex Racing League GT Championship team, and that drives GTE cars in pairs of drivers, and yeah, also a couple of others. So go to Apex Racing League for more info on that. Got Hadfield versus Woodhouse, two veterans of the series, and that is Hadfield actually moving past Woodhouse up into 19.
They're having a fantastic ding-dong here as well, and they've got David Baker in the popcorn seat watching this all unfolding, and looking forward to perhaps taking advantage of this little battle here between Hadfield and Woodhouse as well. There are entries available for the Apex Racing League GT Championship, but only if you're entering in a Corvette. There's only Corvette entries left, so you won't need any of the other cars anyway. If you choose a Corvette, you'll be a shoe-in for good score.
I do have to clarify for the sake of me being paid to do the promotion. You can enter whatever car as long as it's a GTE car, but obviously,
as long as it's a Corvette.
As long as you will get favoritism if it is a Corvette. I think it's got more horsepower. Like legit, it must be the highest power.
Oh, like yeah, at least 250 more. Yeah,
at
definitely.
least, and half the weight.
It's got a built-in babe magnet as well. That's very important.
I'll chew, absolutely.
You get a free cowboy hat when you buy one as well. Made in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Could you get two more different things? A Bowling Green and a Corvette.
Yes, exactly. We've had the bowls recently in Norfolk. Sorry, I don't know why I said that, but do you love me some bowls? Adam Barr.
It's good fun.
I've never tried it. I want to do curling. Bowls never taken my fancy.
Now this is at the risk of sound. Well, I could never match your amazing achievement of being the driver's team individual owner champion of the BSR Radical Winter Series, Sam. But I kid you not, I was the 2012, or the team I played in, the 2012 Scottish rink champion in curling. Basically Scottish club champion.
Wait, are you serious?
I am being 1000% serious, yeah.
I mean, you've literally just gone up 1,000 times in my estimation.
Yeah.
Like, you're my hero. Literally, like, one of the main things I want to do with my life is curling. So, I
Anytime?
Lovely. Well, that's my holiday sorted. I'm delighted about that.
When lockdown's over, come up here to Edinburgh and we'll, I'll show you the ropes.
Wow. Well, I've won tonight. Harrison got nothing on me. Adam Bath, I can see defend. I'm really looking forward to it now. For 17th place, Ackerman can't get past.
He's about to pull over and say, "Can I come and play curling as well?"
Well, I don't think he's too far away. Probably, I mean, it's a long drive for me, but it won't be too far for Adam, I think. So yeah, he'll be up for it.
Adam, yeah, just straight up the M6 onto the M6. Avoid the M6 toll as well. I mean, that's just daylight robbery. Like if they turned the M6 toll into an autobahn, then I'd be listening. So Adam Bass putting in an absolute majestic performance here in 16th position, still keeping Oliver Ackerman, who is in the pro class, don't forget, and David Baker as well, also in the pro class, keeping them at bay. And certainly Adam Bath really very comfortable here at Sonoma in wine country. Just under 2 minutes to go here in this race at Sonoma, and well, Kieran Harrison into a comfortable lead and staking his claim as a kind of joint championship favourite with Carl Janssen, and making sure that the Super Swede knows that he'll be there right to the very end of this championship, and he comes around the hairpin for the penultimate time. We'll have one more lap to go.
yeah, it's impossible to call who's the faster of the two. I genuinely think it's less than a tenth of a second separating him and several others, to be honest, and others as well. I think maybe the other HM engineer, Kazgines in particular, has shown to be able to outpace those guys. But yeah, Harrison and Janssen, and maybe Savidovic as well, really, looking like the favourites so far this season. Nagy up there in 5th place. This will be his second top 5 of the evening. I think he did quite well in race 1. So some big points coming his way. You do wonder what, in fact, apparently that's the checkered flag is out, but I think that's just a bit of a glitch. The race isn't over, guys. We've got still some changes with Shirkov. I wonder where Shirkov would have been if it weren't for that mistake. Maybe he could have won the race, but still doing well in 4th.
Indeed, yes. And that's Nagy getting involved there in a little bit of argy-bargy. Jake Robertson at the front of that pack, just escaping for it. Looks like Jake's going to convert on a good grid spot here and get a podium for the Pro Class driver, running Ash Sutton's number 116 number as well. So Ash here in spirit, at least with the number 116 as well. But Marius Karlstad, he's had an eventful race. But it's going to be Kieran Harrison then. Kieran Harrison, the defending champion, running the number 1, wins here at Sonoma, the 3rd different winner of the day, coming through a long reverse grid setup and takes the win, and he will be right up there in the championship battle, perhaps maybe even leading the championship going into the next round. Mark Johnston is your AM class winner once more for Hesketh Racing in 10th spot. Now, can Adam Bath get in there on the AM class podium in 17th? Oh, he's still in the AM class podium, but just pipped by Ackerman, but edges out Baker. What a scalp for Adam Bath there, Sam.
Yeah, Dave, a little bit under the radar tonight. The car number 3, 3rd place in last year's championship. Sure, he got some decent points for Baker, but definitely Adam's best meeting of the season. But Johnston and Gregory picking up big points, and certainly Johnston, Gregory, Woodhouse seemingly the favourites for that amateur category after this round. There's still 13 meetings to go, but the first 3, hopefully the remaining 13 can be anything as good as these first 3.
Absolutely, and of course we're going to another few kind of slightly quirkier venues across the rest of the season as well. So of course Oran Park, that's going to be very, very interesting indeed for our drivers there as well. So like I say, that I think that length of season is really going to play into the hands of Kieran Harrison. Kieran, I think you're absolutely right, Sam. The difference in pace between Kieran Harrison and Carl Janssen, it's indistinguishable. I could not say which driver's got the ultimate pace. But I think the difference is that Kieran Harrison is keeping his nose slightly cleaner, and that may prove critical as the season progresses. So confirming then, Kieran Harrison wins this race by 3.8 seconds. Jake Robertson getting his first podium of the season for the World Rallycross ace in 3rd. Igor Shirokov was 4th, followed by Daniel Nagy, Marius Karlstad, Wojciech Sporidovic, Marshall Tai, Carl Janssen, and Mark Johnston taking AM class honours. Vasily Setsav was 11th, followed by Hugh Betterman, Oyston Hereford, Roman Bokler, Ben Gregory, Oliver Ackerman, Adam Bath, and David Baker. In 19th was Sergei Glazkov, followed by Jens Ledwick, Tim Perry, Jason Cooper, Damien Harris, Baron Glover, Toby Ward, Adam Hadfield, Mark Woodhouse, and Robert Rund. And finally, Luke Kidsley, Kevin Marshall, Fraser Smith, Ollie Marcus Jorgen, John Billingsley, Stu Abbott, Martin Shirley, Eric Boulton, George Simmons, Yaroslav Kabula, and Nathan Davies, Corentin Guinness, Marcel Fritsch, Norbert Leitner, Craig Williams, Jack Sedgwick, Preben Wally, Rob Stanford, Arjen Bakker, and Alita Tassi. Some big names there down in the bottom part of the field, Sam. Some major scalps not claimed there, but we have our first interviewee coming in to join us, Adam Bath, and I shall hand him over to you, Sam.
Yes, our race 2 amateur winner, Adam Bath. Congratulations, Adam. Was it down to Woody giving you all the pointers out there? I hear he was in your ear tonight.
Yeah, he was for race 2, and that was a massive help. I didn't even realise I was the category winner there. But yeah, that was very good. And I think race 3 was all about the defensive driving as well. Yeah, but race 2, it was pretty good. Following the likes of Wodge and Kieran helps, plus Daniel as well. Those guys were just in front of me, and it meant I could really latch onto the back of them and watch where and when they were braking. And yeah, that's probably one of our best race meetings of the season so far.
Yeah, I think so. Would you say that maybe you got a bit more pace around this circuit specifically, or do you think it's just a case of getting more comfortable with the season round on round?
Well, I'm not going to lie to you. We saw the cup layout, and it was we practiced on the carousel layout during the week. But I guess with just these 2 corners on the old cup layout, there wasn't too much new stuff to learn. But yeah, gradually getting the hang of the car. A few bits of help here and there with setup as well. We've been trying to get that sorted for the last few race meetings, and I think today it was really good. So now that we've got that sorted, I think onwards and upwards for the rest of the season now.
Any chance of the amateur championship, I think, for you guys?
I'd be very surprised, but let's see what the rest of the season brings us, because at the moment, yeah, that was a really good upturn in form this week.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations, Adam, for that race win and the other good results. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
I'll give a shout out to Wizzy for guiding me through race 2 and race 3. I probably would have ended up in the tyre barrier if it wasn't for him. And we haven't got any sponsors at the moment, so I think that'll probably just be about it for this week.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having a chat with us. Thanks for picking the best team name of the season.
I'll give Woody the credit for that.
We'll hopefully see you back at round 4.
Yeah, cheers guys. Thanks for having me.
Adam Bath there, winner of race 2 in the amateur category, and also, of course, former commentator on this series for many years. We recently stepped into his shoes. So yeah, congratulations to him out there tonight.
I remember I did my very first broadcast here on Apex Racing TV with Adam and a certain Dane Baird as well at Road Atlanta. And we've never looked back since as well. Now we have a couple of other drivers come in to have a chat with us, and we have our race 3 winner, Kieran Harrison. Let's get him in for a chat. Kieran Harrison, welcome to the Apex Racing TV commentary box. A brilliant drive there in race 3 to get the win, but it seemed to me that it was an overall really steady night. Some good results in race 1 and 2 as well.
Yeah, it was surprisingly good. I was fearing the worst coming into this track. It's a bit, well, you saw the carnage that unfolded. I sort of saw that coming, but yeah, I got a bit unlucky with the traffic in race 2 compared to Sedgwick and Svaridovic, who I was with in the first race. But I mean, that came turned around in race 3 when I think I went past 11 people after the first corner because everybody was off the track.
That's always nice when you get those gimmies, as we would say in the golfing world, to pick up those spots in the reverse grid. Now, Kieran, you're in a pretty tough championship battle with Carl Janssen for Corsim Racing, and Wojciech Svaridovic in there as well. But it seems to me that you've just got that extra ability to keep the car clean and to avoid contact. Is that something that you're kind of consciously thinking about? And if so, how do you do it?
I think obviously there's a bit of luck involved. I'm sure I'll get taken out at some point, but it's kind of, if I compare myself to the way Carl drives, he's better at getting through the pack typically, but there's more risk involved. So it's kind of like it kind of balances itself out over the season. I'm trying to be a bit more conservative. He's being aggressive, but yeah, he did a good job today from the pit lane. But yeah, it's going to be a hard championship.
Certainly is. 16 race meetings to go through, and we're off to next on the schedule is on the 11th of February, so we've got a week's break and then back to round 4 at Road Atlanta, a circuit I personally adore. But how do you feel heading there to Braselton, Georgia?
I enjoy the track personally, although I've never driven it in these cars. I've done it a lot in GT3. I think, in fact, I won the Split 2 Petit Le Mans in a GT3 last year, so good memories there. But I'm hoping these cars handle the curbs okay. I've heard bad things from certain people, but never tried it for myself, so I'll have to wait and see.
Well, one thing's for sure, you're. I don't know if you have a resident cinematographer at HM Engineering, but you'll get some great British touring car-esque massive curb hops, that's for sure. So, camera at the ready for that, which will be good fun. Now, before we let you go and enjoy your win today, Kieran, who would you like to say hello to here on Apex Racing TV?
Well, I'd like to say thanks to all my family and friends who tune in to watch me every week. And of course, you guys for the broadcast and Apex Racing for running the series. And lastly, my team, HM Engineering, and all of my teammates tonight.
Well, Kieran, thank you so much for coming in to chat to us, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time at Road Atlanta.
Yeah, thanks.
So that was Kieran Harrison. And Sam, do we have time for one more? Will we chat with Preben Wiley?
We
do indeed.
Got a little bit more time. Preben Wiley is in with us in the commentary box now. Preben, decent rounds, a mixture of results tonight, but certainly race 1 and race 2 really good for you. How are you feeling tonight?
I think it's fair to say mixed. Yeah, race 1 decent. I knew I had a lot of pace. Was quickest in practice and messed up qualifying. Then turn 1, I managed to damage my car, so I couldn't really go anywhere. So just finished 14th. Then race 2, started 22nd, made my way up to 5th, I think. Then the last race, me and my teammate had a small incident, which can happen. So that was my race number 3 done in turn 1.
Seemed like many of the cars were kind of very strong in out there today. There didn't seem to be as many retirements out there. What kind of triggered that non-finish then in the final race car? How were you hit? Was it in like the corner or was it quite a hard hit?
Yeah, it was a hard hit. Right hand side rear bumper just sent me into the tire barriers. Nothing I could do. So that was, I mean, that's one you expect that will end your race. But I think the new damage model has come a really long way since last season. We don't see those ghost contacts anymore that just ruins people racing. So I think the new damage model is really good right now.
This is I believe this is your 2nd season. Forgive me if it's actually your 3rd season in the championship. Has your driving changed at all? Do you think since you started this series? Do you think it's changed?
Yeah, definitely. If you show up to an ARL race and you don't have your elbows out, you're gonna be in for a bumpy ride. So you have to be on it. You have to take the chances you get. If not, you're just gonna go backwards. And that was a big adjustment for me last season. In the first couple of races, I was too passive, and then, as I said, you just go backwards. Once you figure it out, you take the battles that you can take and the opportunities that present themselves. It's a really good series to be in.
Definitely. And we've still got 13 meetings to go. Is there any goals for you this season, like win a race or any goals in like the Drivers' Championship or the Teams' Championship? What are you looking forward to?
I'd like to win a race. I don't think anyone shows up without that desire to win a race. But as long as I can perform to my abilities, I'm quite satisfied. Today I wish I was better in qualifying, but the races were good. So it's about putting it all together, practicing properly, having a decent quali, and then keeping your head cool during the races. And I think a win is possible.
Yeah, certainly looks possible. So a little bit of luck with the reverse grid, and yeah, I'm sure you'll be right in the box seat. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to, Preben?
The same as always, my girlfriend who lets me sit in this room for hours upon hours driving. My teammates in Full Send Racing, Fraser who raced tonight, Mikkel who usually races, Steen and Ollie are setup guys, and all the Norwegians in the series. We have a very good deal going on where we share setups and and information. So
Awesome. Well, thanks for having a chat with us, Praven, and best of luck at Road Atlanta.
thank you too.
Praven Vale there with a 14th, a 5th, and a 45th. Like I said, mixed results, but still some handy points for the 136. Yeah, we got Road Atlanta next up. Peter got a week break, but then yeah, after that, round 4, Road Atlanta, which that'll be a lot of fun to visit the Georgian circuit.
Oh, it really will. It's one of my absolute favourite circuits anywhere in the world. Of course, home of the Petit Le Mans, and yeah, really impressive. Held one of was actually the first race it held was a Can-Am race when Can-Am was really starting to get very serious, and Porsche were turning up with 1,000 horsepower, 800 kilogram Can-Am cars without a roof. So yeah, it's been intertwined in top class motorsport for a long time, and of course been frozen here in the sim for many years as well. So yep, the guys are going to really enjoy it, I think, and a bit of drafting down that back straight as well, and then on the brakes into turn 10A and 10B. It's going to be a thriller, and don't miss it here on Apex Racing TV. That will be on the 11th of February, 8 p.m. GMT. Myself, Peter Mackay, and Sam Fitzpatrick will see you there. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.